it's Holly. I hope everybody's having a blessed day. I hope yesterday was good for you. Um, oh my goodness. I am still very excited about what we learned yesterday with Goshen not being affected by the plagues. I mean, I guess in some ways you could say duh, but I didn't know. I'm 41 years old. I did not know that. And I've known, I was raised in a Christian home, so I know the story of Moses. Just never read it like this. I don't think I've ever read it as an adult because I don't know. I think I went through this when I read the Genesis. You learn all these stories when you're a kid. The basics. Let's see, David, which I haven't gotten to yet. David and Goliath, and then he turns into King David. The story of Joseph and Abraham and, Moses. I think that I could be wrong, but for me anyway, you don't think about having to read it in the Bible when you get older because you know the story. No, you know what is it, DreamWorks put out, or Cecil B. DeMille put out, or what was kid approved in your kiddie Bible, or the kid stories that you read when you were a kid. So that's why, everybody should read the Bible front to back at some point, or from Genesis to Revelation. But when it comes to the first two books of the Bible, I'm like, well, why do I need to read that? Because why do I need to read that? Because I know Adam and Eve and Methuselah, all that stuff. So but no, I'm finding a lot of things that I didn't know that weren't taught as a kid. Yes, the table is still not level. We'll get it fixed. But I still think it's cool, and I want to know what your thoughts are on. Is there another point of the reading yesterday or in anything that I have already read, or when we get there, let me know what you think. What part did you find cool, or what did you just learn? Excuse me. What were you today years old when you learned or when you found out? I'd like to know these things because everybody's perspective is going to be different. Even if you're raised in the same household, every person is different. What, like with my two sons, with one thinks one way, another thinks another way, so they're going to read the stories and come up with totally different thought processes or points of view. And I think that's awesome. I want to know what your point of view is, what your thought process, because everybody's walk is different. And I'm not talking about baby Christian, adult Christian, toddler Christian, whatever. I'm talking about every person on this earth goes through their own life, their own thought. They all, some people have ADHD, some people doesn't. Some people, have trauma, some people don't. Some people are men, some people are women. I'm not trying to make a comment on anything other than everybody is different. I was raised with mom, dad gone serving our country, and I have two biological siblings, and I have four adopted siblings, and So, just going off of my biological siblings, our points of view, our viewing of our childhood is different than the other because we're all unique individuals. So I probably said that, went the roundabout way of just saying that everybody is different and everybody, we all have different things that point out to us, and I have lost my words. Thank you, ADHD. But the point of the matter is the Potter Shed, I want to be a safe space for people. Whether all I do is read the Bible from Genesis to Revelation on camera, or if it expands to doing Bible studies or whatever, I want it to be a safe place for people to be able to come together and safely discuss, ask questions, get excited about silly things. Maybe your point of view is my excitement over Goshen not being affected by the plagues is silly to you. Okay, fine. But let's talk about it in a good way. That's fine. My reaction's fine. So's yours. So, but, and if you have questions, I may not have answers, but maybe somebody out there does, and they're willing to kindly give you the answer. Or it's something that we can ponder. Because I know that I was, when I was doing this before, there was an issue. Oh, I think it was, if Eve had children when she was in the Garden of Eden. And because of the way it was explained, at least in my Bible, how it was explained or what was said, because God is usually instructive and informative, and he just said childbirth. And then there was another question about the circumcision of, his name escapes me, but Moses' son. So, but I want this to be an awesome place to grow in the Word and do it in a happy and in the way that Jesus would have intended it. With love. And so that's what I want to do here. So now that I have rambled on and on and on and on, I was looking at the scriptures, and I think I want to do chapters 10 and 11 today, because thankfully mine has the titles in it or whatever. It divides it out. So, and chapter 11 is relatively short, so let's finish with the 9th and the 10th plague today. So this video may be a little bit long. And then tomorrow we can start on the instructions for the Passover. And I am sorry about this table. We'll get to it. We forgot yesterday after the video. So we'll get to it some point this week. So hopefully it's not too bad and you can focus on what I'm reading. Okay, so we are on the 8th plague, and it is the plague of locusts. Okay. It is candy. Sorry. I was trying to figure out. Wasn't looking at it, but it's candy. Trying to decipher between my Hello Kitty cups. Anyway, okay. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go to Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart and the hearts of his officials, so that I may do these miraculous signs of mine among them. And so that you may tell your son and your grandson how severely I dealt with the Egyptians and performed miraculous signs among them, and you will know that I am the Lord." So Moses and Aaron went to the Pharaoh and told him, "This is what the Lord, the God of Hebrews, says. How long will you refuse to humble yourself before me? So let my people go, that they may worship me. But if you refuse to let my people go, then tomorrow I will bring locusts into your territory. They will come over, my gosh, I'm sorry. They will cover the surface of the land so that no one will be able to see the land. They will eat the remainder left to you that escaped the hail. They will eat every tree you have growing in the fields. They will fill your houses, all your officials' houses, and the houses of all the Egyptians. Something your fathers and grandfathers never saw since the time they occupied the land until today." Then he turned and left Pharaoh's presence. Pharaoh's official asked him, "How long must this man be a snare to us? Let the men go so that they may worship the Lord their God. Don't you realize yet that Egypt is devastated?" So Moses and Aaron were brought back to Pharaoh. "Go worship the Lord your God," Pharaoh said. "But exactly who will be going?" Moses replied, "We will go with our young and our old. We will go with our sons and our daughters, with our flocks and our herds, because we must hold the Lord's festival." He said to them, "The Lord would have to be with you if I would ever let you and your families go. Look out, you're heading for trouble. No, go. Just able-bodied men. Worship the Lord, since that's what you want." And they were driven from Pharaoh's presence. The Lord then said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand over the land of Egypt, and the locusts will come up over it and eat every plant in the land, everything that the hail left." So Moses stretched out his staff over the land of Egypt, and the Lord sent an east wind over the land all that day and through the night. By morning, the east wind had brought in the locusts. The locusts went up over the entire land of Egypt and settled on the whole territory of Egypt. Never before had there been such a large number of locusts, and there never will be again. They covered the surface of the whole land so that the land was black, and they consumed all the plants on the ground and all the fruit on the trees that the hail had left. Nothing green was left on the trees or the plants in the field throughout the land of Egypt. Pharaoh urgently sent for Moses and Aaron and said, "I have sinned against the Lord your God and against you. Please forgive me my sin once more and make an appeal to the Lord your God so that he will just take this death away from me." Moses left Pharaoh's presence and appealed to the Lord. Then the Lord changed the wind to a strong west wind, and it carried off the locust and blew them into the Red Sea. Not a single locust was left in the territory of Egypt, but the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he did not let the Israelites go. Oh, sorry. Oh. Okay. Oh. Anyway, so I'm wondering if, because it's been at least 3-4 years since I've seen The Mummy, I'm wondering if the what I was thinking of when we were reading about the flies yesterday, that scene from The Mummy I talked about, I wonder if it was locusts. I don't know. My boys like that movie. It came out when I was 16. Anyway. Okay, so the 9th plague, darkness. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand toward heaven, and there will be darkness over the land of Egypt, a darkness that can be felt." So Moses stretched out his hand toward heaven, and there was thick darkness throughout the land of Egypt for 3 days. One person one person could not see another, and for 3 days they did not move from where they were, yet all the Israelites had light where they lived. Pharaoh summoned Moses and said, "Go worship the Lord, even your family may go with you. Only your flocks, only your flocks and herds must stay behind." Moses responded, "You must let..." Sorry, I don't know why my nose is so itchy today. Moses responded, "You must let us have sacrifices and burnt offerings to prepare for the Lord our God. Even our livestock must go with us. Not a hoof will be left behind, because we will take some of them to worship the Lord our God. We will not know what we will use to worship the Lord until we get there." But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he was unwilling to let them go. Pharaoh said to him, "Leave me. Make sure you never see my face again, for on the day you see my face, you will die." "As you have said," Moses replied, "I will never see your face again." So, sorry. Oh, I guess it's just one of those days my nose itches. There was an interest. I had a conversation with a friend earlier, and that was a thought that I had, was because one of the questions that I had from yesterday was, how did the hail, why were they moving the livestock to get away from the hail if the livestock was all dead? I know with the darkness, it said that the darkness lasts for 3 days, but it does not say, unless I'm missing it somewhere. And of course, I'm not going through Charles Spurgeon's notes, I'm just reading the scriptures. It doesn't say how long the plagues lasted. I mean, are we talking that, Pharaoh was really hoity-toity or whatever, and the first flies that flew around, and that plague only lasted 5 minutes and he had enough, or you know what I mean? It doesn't, as far as I can tell from the reading, it doesn't give a specific time for how long all this happened. I mean, are we talking a day, a week, a month? How long were these plagues going for? And the only one that I can see is the death of the firstborn, I think, happened through the night, and then, which we're about ready to read. And then, the darkness was only 3 days. So that's interesting. What do you guys think? All right, so we are going on to chapter 11, and there's only, looks like 10 verses, so that's why we're going to go ahead and finish all the plagues today. All right, the 10th plague, the death of the firstborn. The Lord said to Moses, "I will bring one more plague on Pharaoh and on Egypt. After that, he will let you go from here. When he lets you go, he will drive you out of here. Now announce to the people that both men and women should ask their neighbors for silver and gold items." The Lord gave the people favor with the Egyptians. In addition, Moses himself was very highly regarded in the land of Egypt by Pharaoh's officials and the people. So Moses said, "This is what the Lord says. About midnight I will go throughout Egypt, and every firstborn male in the land of Egypt will die. From the firstborn of Pharaoh, who sits on his throne, to the firstborn of the servant girl, who is the grindstones, from the firstborn of the servant girl who is at the grindstones, as well as every firstborn of the livestock." Again, I thought the livestock was dead. Then there will be a great cry of anguish through all the land of Egypt, such as never before, and ever will be again. but against all the Israelites, whether people or animals, not even a dog will snarl, so that you may know that the Lord makes a distinction between Egypt and Israel. And these officials of yours will come down to me and bow before me, saying, Get out, and you and all your people who will follow you. After that I will get out. And he went out from Pharaoh's presence fiercely angry. The Lord said to Moses, Pharaoh will not listen to you, so that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Egypt. Moses and Aaron did all these wonders before Pharaoh, but the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let the Israelites go out of the land. Okay, so where it says, from the firstborn of Pharaoh, okay, so because it says that means that it starts with Pharaoh's children. Okay. Sorry, it was always a question of mine, because if it was supposed to be the firstborn, then oh, my camera moving. Anyway, if it was supposed to be the firstborn, then why was Pharaoh not killed? But it starts with Pharaoh's offspring and goes down from there. So I get that. And don't mistake my questions for thinking that I don't believe that God did all this or anything like that. I don't know my words, but it's just silly things that pop out at me. Because I do believe this is it's history, but I just have questions. If God killed off all the livestock with the this is how my brain works, people. Okay, so in the 5th plague, he killed all the livestock, and then they're talking about protecting the livestock from the hail, and then they're talking about with the locusts are gonna, take care of the livestock that the hail didn't get. And then it talks about in here that the firstborn, even down to the livestock. So that it's just I don't understand the livestock part. So I could be picking on something it doesn't matter. I have questions. Do you have answers? Anyway, that's it for today. Again, if you have questions, if you want to discuss this, just leave me a comment and I'll get back to you. I hope you all have a very, very blessed day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.